Okay, so we've got Mike's Kawasaki ZZR14 with the supercharger kit on. We've had it on the dyno. We're making about 375 horsepower at the moment. I was expecting to see more boost than what was on there. Then we realised, no, we haven't changed to the P impeller.
Like MotoGP speed. Doing a wheelie at 140 mile an hour. That is so fast, isn't it?
So the C1394P, this sweet little baby is going on there, and we'll see some more boost, and we'll see, I would say, more than 400 horsepower out of this. It's got a great exhaust system. It's got Brock's exhaust, which breathes really well. And we've been playing with cam timing, and we think we've got some cam timing figures that are working really well with it. So I think we'll see comfortably over 400 horsepower with this. It'd be a really nice thing to do. We've got a couple of other issues to sort out. We've got a water leak somewhere. We didn't build the engine, we didn't put it in the chassis, but yeah, something somewhere is a slight leak, which I'm sure is something and nothing, hoping it's something and nothing anyway. Just a loose Jubilee clip or something like that. So we get that fixed, get the impeller on, and get it back on the dyno, see if we can crack that 400 horsepower figure. So this is Supercharger C1394, that's off the ZX14, counterclockwise rotating impeller. Well, in fact, it's a clockwise rotating impeller, counterclockwise rotating input, because you notice that when I turn this way, that turns that way, because that's the gearbox inside. 9.49 to 1 step up, so 1 revolution in equals 9.49 out. She buzzes. And we're going to replace that impeller with this impeller, which is a little bit different, a little bit taller, and we should see about another 4 or 5 pound of boost. There we go, just like that. You got the bolt. So there you go. More horsepower, Captain. More horsepower. Going to stick it back on, mate. Okay, Kawasaki ZZR14, ZX14 update. We've got Mike's bike on the dyno earlier today, and it runs a Brock's Alien Head, I believe it is, 402-1 exhaust system, which is considerably lighter and shorter and more free-flowing than what Graham had on his bike, which was the Kawasaki twin cans, and it was a very, very long system. So huge difference between the two exhaust systems, and this is the difference we've found so far. So Graham's bike is where we've highlighted now. So we're missing torque and we're missing horsepower, obviously, because they go hand in hand. And then Mike's bike, that one, we're missing some bottom end. We're way, way away from having a finished power curve. This is just top end that we were looking to see how things were going, see if we got any faults, any problems. And Mike had the engine built by a company over in Holland, and then we changed the cam timing on it. I think the cam timing has a lot to do with this, because we found recently with the Busa that cam timing has made a lot more difference. But his clutch springs are not man enough, so we lost the clutch to about 10,500 RPM. So we lost the clutch, and we've got to wait for some clutch springs to come in. But this is looking promising. It's looking like we will see over 400 brake with this setup. And we've got over 200 foot-pound of torque. We've got 205 foot-pound of torque, where Graham's was only giving 183. So Yeah, perhaps we'll have Graham's back and change the cam timing, see if we can pull it up to this level. It'd be very interesting to see how it progresses. It's a new kit, a new engine to play with, new cams to play with. As long as somebody pays the bills, I've got no problem in doing it. We're giving them pretty good horsepower all round. Look at that. That's pretty stout, 205 foot-pound of torque. That's 22 foot-pound of torque up over Graham's. There you go. So watch this space. We'll be back up and running very shortly once we get the clutch springs in, and we'll see what sort of horsepower we end up with as a finished article. This is the supercharger that we fit to our street kit, Hayabusa, and this supercharger gives us 0.5 of a kilogram per second of air at the maximum speed we run it. Now we've run now on E85 and got 500 horsepower out of a Busa without too much difficulty. And everybody knows that my bike, although it's not a super street bike, has got some good power, and we're running 8 seconds dead at 182 mile an hour. So in the right chassis, that would be in the 7s, no trouble at all. A lot of people are saying, yeah, get the right chassis and you'll be in low 7s because technology is such that programming the bike's power off the line is giving you like 1.2 60 foots, and I'm nowhere near that at the moment, 1.4. So 80 at 1.4, if I got 1.2, we'd be in mid 7s. And that's with me on it, not with the jockey. So to go drag racing, which isn't what this kit is about. This kit is all about street bike and how usable and drivable it is. A bit of street racing. It's a really good package. People are getting a lot of satisfaction out of it. But I've been requested to build something a bit more powerful. So if you look at this, the way we're running it, giving 0.5 of a kilogram per second of air, and then we double it with this supercharger, how much horsepower are we going to get? So this is a C38-112. This gives almost double the airflow of this supercharger. So it takes more to drive it, but we've already got the bracket, the alternator case made, and we just lashed up this to see if it's possible and what it would look like to get a drive in front of the engine, because obviously if you're running a drag bike, you want all the weight at the front if you're running without wheelie bars to keep the front end down. Well, this supercharger weighs 6.5 kilos, this one weighs 5 kilos, so we've got a little bit more weight at the front to keep the front end down, which will only benefit when we produce more power. So answer me this, how much horsepower do you think we're going to get out of this bike? It's a project for over winter. I've got a client that requires it. So watch this space. We're going to make some big, big power. Harley-Davidson M8 compensator ramps. We were the first on the market with these. We know how to make them last. We've got the best quality steel, and these are the cheapest on the market. Buy from the manufacturers. Don't buy from a middleman. Come to TTS and get a good price. £245 plus tax. If you want one, we've now got them in stock. My beautiful S2000 that I decided to spend out on a new engine and gearbox and diff from a Breakers. And I saw that although it was an old engine, it'd only done 25,000 miles. And it looked pretty well like new. So we thought, right, my poor old lump had had a hard life, we'll swap it all out. So we swapped the engine, the gearbox, the diff. And what did we find? The diff was no good. It must have taken a hit through the back wheels being smacked when it was in the crash. So we swapped out the diff, put the original diff back in, noise disappeared. But then we got another noise in the gearbox. And then the gearbox locked up. So the gearbox must have taken a hit in the crash as well, but God knows how. So we're back to square one. We've got a good engine, but we haven't got a good gearbox, and we've got a good diff. But the gearbox has got to come apart, which is not a 5-minute job, as anybody knows. You listen to this. It's horrible. So we're going to learn how to become gearbox specialists, I think, and actually start pulling these things apart and seeing what's broken. And no doubt the parts are still available. Honda are pretty good on that front. So, yeah, we'll bring it up to speed and then we'll get some power out of her. But sorry, boys, the C38 91 conversion, which I started running on the dyno today, has ground to a halt. It was going well until we had these noises and the back wheels locked up.